And now we are in the kitchen with Chef Laremy, and we're going to cook with raspberries.
That's right.
What are we going to make?
We're going to make a traditional Dutch dish called pannenkoeken, which, as it sounds, is very similar to a pancake or a crepe. It's a very thin pancake, a little more egg than a typical crepe, so it has a little bit more body. Very popular all over Holland. You know, not so much a breakfast food, more of an evening food.
Okay.
And very versatile, as we'll try to show tonight.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so where do we start?
We start, the pannenkoek are very simple to make. You take 4 eggs, and we're gonna whip those up. And then this may be a little bit atypical, but the next thing that you add is the flour. So I just have 1 cup of flour that I'm throwing in here.
All right.
And I want to get that nice and mixed up, kind of almost into a paste. And the reason that you do that, if you add the milk to the eggs first, then you tend to have more kind of chunks. But if you kind of mix this together and form it into a nice paste first, then you can get rid of those chunkies and have a nice smooth batter. Okay. Exactly. So go to town on that. And then I'll slowly incorporate. I just got 1 cup of milk here.
And does it matter what kind of milk?
I usually use whole milk. I'm a milk fat kind of a guy. I like milk, I like butter, so I'm typically a whole milk kind of person. But yeah, like I say, it's really flexible.
All right.
So there you go. That's the basics of the pannenkoek recipe. And we're gonna throw in a pinch of salt here as well.
All right, no sugar?
No sugar, just, yeah, it's a pretty plain Jane. It's a nice palette for a lot of other little flavors. It's kind of the nice part of it. Just got a nice little cast iron skillet. I'm gonna throw a little butter in here. I'm gonna spread that around. All right, so it's got a nice little sizzle, so this should cook nicely. Grab my ladle and just gonna kind of pour this around. Probably grab another scoop in there too.
You want to cover the whole pan?
Yep, and I'll probably actually just kind of pick it up and give it a little twist. This is nice. I like this pan because it's got that nice little edge around it. So just sort of cover your pan and set it, and we'll just let it cook for a little bit. So we flipped it halfway through, and now it looks like that on the other side.
All right, terrific.
And we'll throw that on our plate, and we'll wait for that to go.
All right.
All right.
So, and then we're gonna make our first filling.
That's right. So this will be a bit more of a savory filling, and we're gonna start with just a little bit of oil in a pan. Just a little dab in there.
Just vegetable oil?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw in some pancetta.
Oh, wonderful.
Got the LaQuercia here. I know you guys are fans of them as well. We are too. Let that sizzle up for a little bit. We just want to kind of get this crisp and just try to, you know, get some of that fat rendered out of there. That'll kind of add some flavor to everything.
All right.
So you can just keep an eye on that. And now I got a pint of raspberries here, and I'm going to add a ½ cup of red wine vinegar, and just about 1/8 cup, just a little bit of sugar to kind of take off the edge of the vinegar. And I'm just going to kind of make a super simple little vinaigrette dressing and just shake it like a paint shaker. So yeah, this kind of just muddles everything up, gets the flavors kind of nice and evenly mixed.
Wow, and the raspberries really broke down fast.
Yeah, they do. They're quite fragile.
Yes.
All right, so then I'm gonna throw just a little shallot in there. It's about, half a shallot, I suppose.
All right.
Get that frying a little bit. Throw in a few pine nuts because I love pine nuts.
And so is this your own idea, or would this be a traditional kind of filling?
This probably isn't a super traditional Dutch thing, but it's just, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's my idea a bit, but
yeah.
You know, it's a mix of a lot of different influences. The Dutch will, you know, they'll put a lot of different kinds of toppings: cheeses, bacon, cheese, all sorts of different things in a typical pancake. You know, it's not just maple syrup on top. But this is a little bit of, you know, things that I like.
Yeah.
I got arugula, I got raspberries. So.
Wonderful.
All right, now I'm gonna throw and just kind of do sort of a deglaze of the pan with some of this stuff. Yeah, I'll take that a little bit. Pouring, I guess, about half of my mixture or so into here. And just let the vinegar in there kind of deglaze the pan a little bit. You can start to smell the nice red wine vinegar.
Yeah. It's so pretty, too.
Oh, I know. Raspberries, they look good.
Everything beautiful.
They smell good, they taste good. All right, and we'll just kind of let that reduce for, maybe a minute or so. So now we're just gonna throw in a bit of arugula here on top of that, and just let that, put the lid on it, and just let it wilt.
Oh, nice.
Turn
Okay.
the heat off, and just let it wilt for a few minutes. So then we're gonna take my arugula out and just put it right down the middle of this guy. And then I'm just gonna scoop a little bit of this right on top of here. You know, it's almost, at the end of the day, it's almost like a salad, you know, with kind of a bacon vinaigrette dressing on here.
Oh, such a great idea.
All right, and I'm gonna set this down. And just to kind of complete it all, some nice goat cheese to kind of add some sort of cool flavors to it. Right like that.
There you go.
So the Dutch always roll up their pancakes. So you kind of just grab it like that, kind of flip it over like that, and get a nice little roll on there. And there you go.
Perfect. All right, we have made the savory. Now we're going to make a sweet
Yes,
panna
absolutely.
cook, right?
Absolutely.
With raspberries.
With
of course.
raspberries, indeed. So we're going to start with a little port sauce, actually. I like port mixed in with raspberries. You can't really taste it that much, but it adds just a little bit of a hint of some depth to the flavors. So there's about a half cup of port, and here's about a half cup of sugar. And we're just going to mix that.
Terrific.
And let that just kind of cook a little bit. Bring it to a boil.
Okay, is it time for raspberries?
All right, absolutely. So we'll just kind of let this reduce for maybe a minute or so, and just kind of boil off some of that liquid. And then we're just gonna dump in, I got another pint of raspberries here.
Wonderful.
Just gonna dump that right in there. And just continue to let that cook. And just kind of mash them down as I stir it around.
All right, they do reduce so fast.
Yeah. You can use this for cheesecake, you can use this just right on ice cream, you know, it's really versatile.
And drink it.
You can just drink it, absolutely. Just get a spoon and just sip away.
All right, and the sauce is cool.
That's right.
So we're ready to put this together.
Absolutely. So,
And you've mixed up some
yep,
whipped
I just
cream.
got some heavy cream, some vanilla, some sugar. I like to use these whipped cream chargers because
Wonderful.
it's a lot easier, in my opinion. So I'm going to grab one of these guys, and transfer it onto my plate.
All right.
I'm just going to put some whipped cream right down the middle of it here.
And put plenty.
All right, sounds good. I can. Right like that. I'm going to roll it up again. Whoops.
That takes some practice.
Center it. It does a bit.
Yeah.
All right, and now I'm just gonna take some of my raspberry sauce, and I'm just gonna ladle it right on top of there.
Oh, wonderful.
Plenty of that too, eh?
Yes. Yes, don't skip.
All right.
That's great. Well,
And
I'm
there you
dying
go.
to taste this.
All right.
And you told me that if this is a Dutch food and that I need to use
Absolutely.
a fork and a
Absolutely.
knife to eat this,
Indeed.
it's not really.
All
Okay.
right, so just kind of take it, and because you don't want to smash the whipped cream out. So you
Okay,
just
all
kinda,
right.
That's a little messy. Sorry.
But it's so delicious.
It is, huh?
Wow.
It almost
Oh.
tastes, the panna cook almost tastes like an ice cream cone in some ways.
Uh-huh.
It's like a
You know
lighter,
what?
more flexible.
Better
All
than
right,
an ice cream
sounds
cone.
good.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.